All right, they moved to Costa Rica. They made a life in Costa Rica. They have a successful internet. They dialed in their place. They have property all dialed in. Airbnb. Everything is smooth sailing. And then you decided to do, we're going to talk about it in a minute. Guys, I'm Mike Lown for TravelCostaRicaNow.com. Man, if you haven't subscribed, please do. YouTube's hard these days. I would totally appreciate it. Hit the notification bell if you want to see videos as we put them up. And guess what, man? If Costa Rica is on your radar, think you might want to live here, but you're not quite sure, this 6-7 day event might be for you, man. The contacts you're going to meet, well, it won't be you. Shoot. We'll get to that in a minute. The contacts you meet is worth the price of admission, but we have a great time. It's half vacation, lots of information. I think at the end of it, you'll know if Costa Rica is right for you or it's, honey, we're going to Spain. So, whoops. All that information is in the link in the description. I would love to see you there. All right.
Sorry.
I don't know. This is a sad time. And especially, I just want to say real quick, the more I've been hanging out with James, the more I'm trying to look like you, I've noticed.
It's getting, yeah.
I got to work on a little bit of a filler.
Yeah. Fill it in right here.
Yeah, we look like brothers.
I get waxed.
Look at this. I know.
Right
Put
here.
some glasses on. I get a little tatted up. I'm good to go.
I want to get waxed. Okay. All right. Now, okay.
That's another video.
Guys, explain. You're leaving.
We are leaving
because they're leaving because they can't stay in Costa Rica and they're done with it.
Well, you're running us out. Everywhere we look.
He told us 3 years ago, hey,
you're not going to make it.
You're not going to make it.
Not
and
for you.
We're just like out of here.
All right, let's explain, because I think once you explain, and I was true, you guys did dial in a beautiful property. Yeah. You did have it. You do have an Airbnb. You had the business is going. You're making money. Internet stuff's going good.
It's on the coast. It was nice.
It's not dead. It's not passive. It still is.
No. Yes. It's great.
Yeah. It's still. We don't want to jinx the sale.
Yeah.
All right. Explain.
Okay, you want to go first? I'll go first.
You go first. I'll
go
fill
first.
in.
Okay.
I'm the filler inner.
The color. She's going to fill in the color. So we are, just to get right to it, we are relocating to Spain. Right? We'll tell the end. And the reasons that we are moving to Spain, which we'll talk about, is nothing to do with Costa Rica at all. We loved it here. Still love it here. As Michael said, we built our business, we built our home. It's been awesome.
And it's a great home.
Yeah.
Lovely. We love it here.
Very, sort of happy, sad kind of time. But, we have 2 children in Europe. So we have one older son in Brussels, and we have our younger son and his girlfriend and our granddaughter and soon to be grandson in Paris. So we just need to be closer to, one of the reasons is we just need to be closer to our family, or our kids and our grandkids.
Well, there's lots that goes with that. Just so you all know, when we came here originally, this was home base, and we would travel from here, which started off going okay. Then it just kind of took a turn where our son and his girlfriend now have a 2-year-old, and now they're having another one.
Yeah.
And so what that means is every time we leave here to go see them, literally, it's a $10,000 hit. That's first of all.
You mean air travel and all that?
Yeah.
Airbnb.
Because we usually go for 3 weeks, a month.
5. We went like 5 once. So, and you stay for a long time. So that happens. But then on top of it, we don't go to any of the other places that we want to go to because
we spend all of our money and time with them.
But you would like to travel more just yourselves.
That was a huge part of our story. So we just kind of looked at each other one day and we said, this is financially unsustainable. I mean, we'll have to have a suicide pact after a while.
But basically the grandkids, really. Having grandkids? I mean, would your own kids have made would you have made the move? Or they had to have grandkids before you actually They'll never see this video.
Absolutely. Here's the thing. They did not, when we moved here, we did not have grandkids, and they weren't even on the radar.
So beware.
Yeah. I mean, there was like we didn't even think there was a chance of that for like way distant future. And then.
Well, and the thing though with Spain though, is we're going to still be 800 miles from them. So this means...
I call that a smart move. But
yes. So this means we can get to see them in about an hour air flight or train or whatever, under $300. But I'm not around the corner for the drop-in child daycare, which I am not doing. I mean, we still work, as everybody knows. And I don't want to do that. That's not the thing. Yeah. So this gives us the opportunity to still do everything we want to do and travel all around there, while still being closer.
But it sounded like there might be a couple other reasons. I got two questions. One is, and I mean, not really my business, and you really have to answer. Was Costa Rica, when you decided to go here, was it the final destination in your minds?
Oh,
or it was never? We'll stay there for we're probably leaving 15 years, or it's open, but we will leave at some point. Or was it? You know what I mean? Was it final?
Yeah, I think it was.
We had nothing left to go back to.
We certainly weren't going to go back. And the idea when we came here was we had no time frame in mind. This was like going to be our home base.
Right.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
And we sold everything to come here. So it's not like, well, we could go back to that other house. No.
There was no escape plan. We burnt the bridge when we came to Costa Rica, and we were going, we're going to make this work.
We don't have to go off on this side, but when you say that, I know some people that, when you don't burn the bridge, that option is looming, and it makes you make not bad decisions, but there's your new adventure is an adventure, but I have an escape clause, and that didn't go right. I should run home. I should go. You know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah. Yes.
I guess it's good to have the option, but when that option becomes too, it's almost an excuse. I was going to get an online job, but it's kind of hard, or this is hard to do. Whatever it is, whatever they're having problems with, that option becomes.
Yes.
It comes to the forefront.
So when you burn the bridge, it's like, this is it. We got to make this work.
Well, what did you say?
I said, look, if anything happened and we had to leave Costa Rica, well, either because we didn't like it or whatever, we're not coming back to the United States.
Well, it's lucky your kids don't live in Bangladesh.
You're waiting to say that?
Actually, no, that just kind of...
Somebody's got an issue with that. So here, I have something to say, and it's a little bit off the beaten track. No, it's not really. But I want to be really clear, because I think it's different than what you said. So, when we were raising our kids, my mother was floating around her life, just floating, doing her own life. But she'd come in, and her posture and her philosophy was always that our two boys, were fine. They were loved and fed and nourished and everything by us. Her whole thing was, who's taking care of you two? So her whole purpose when she would work with and be with us and help was to help us, not her grandchildren. And I find myself, similar, some of you may feel that way, like, it's not about, I love my grandchildren, but my point of view is I really want to go and make sure we're there for our son and make sure he's okay and help him and her in their life together. Because we know their kids are great. They love they're wonderful. But who's helping them when they both work and da-da-da-da-da. So I'm kind of going in with a little bit of a different kind of thing. I'm not running to my grandchildren.
Oh, okay. I thought, well, hey, whatever. It's family, though. It's still, it's still like family stuff.
It's a little sacrilegious that I said that.
It's all good. So, well, I got so many questions.
Somebody back me up here.
So many questions. I mean, I love, my dad's dead now, but I love my parents too. But they were more like, you're 18. We did all the job we can. We let that foundation. Now get out there and go do it. And you know what brings up another point?
Well, he is 4,000 miles away from us. It has been for 8 years.
I actually do like, I mean, after now, older now, hopefully a little wiser, reflecting on life and living here, I really do kind of like the way they keep family close. They live on the compound, the grandmother's here, everyone's looking out for each other. There's a lot of that here. And the United States, not that it's necessarily bad, kind of lost their way on that because now it kind of, kid leaves, bye, can you come for Christmas? No, a little busy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not everybody, but there's a general thing over the United States where kids just take off, and then the parents are like, you haven't seen your kids for 5 years or 10. You know what I mean?
I do.
Cats in the Cradle.
Yep.
That song. That's right.
Okay, that's an age thing. People right now, somebody's going.
Here we go again. He's
what?
Still the oldest.
What?
We had this conversation already. Still the oldest.
I know. I'm going to accept that as long as you guys call me.
You're usually the
as long as you guys call me daddy. Anyway, so I actually want to kind of go a little bit sideways on. I think everybody can understand the family element, but Costa Rica you haven't lived abroad before Costa Rica, right?
No, this was our first venture.
I want to go. We're going to get into how this transition, you living here, is probably going to help with the transition there for sure, I would say. But before we go into that, let's kind of go over like the likes, I think, and the things you've learned living here. We're not in Spain, we're not there yet, but let's do, what the takeaways from here, things you've learned, the good, maybe things you would have done differently, just those kind of.
Yeah. No, that's a great question, Michael. I'll just throw one thing in is, I think the biggest thing for me was letting go of the lifestyle in the U.S. I mean, like that we're just letting go of all of that hustle bustle, whatever that is.
It's called a hamster wheel, James.
Yes, whatever you want to call it. So, but letting go of that and not coming down here with expectations that North American expectations or sensibilities. It's like letting that go and just being here, if that makes sense.
Now, was that an easy transition when you got here? Because a lot of people have a hard time slowing down, and Costa Rica does kind of force you to slow down. If
we were in projects right away that kind of kept us from slowing down, with the house and everything. There was a speed to that, like a big project.
You're busy.
That kept
There's
us.
no time to think about.
We kept busy, but certainly the lifestyle. Going to the bank could be a half a day adventure. It's you may have, or
are you trying to trigger me right now? How we're doing?
Getting a twitch right here.
But there was all of that stuff that back home, like you were just
you drive through.
If you were at the bank for more than 8 minutes, you're going. What the, if you're in line at the bank here, it could be 2 hours. But so all of that. For me, that was the biggest thing, was transitioning from all of that craziness to, being in a forced to slow down and not have those sensibilities, not be pissed off about it. The instant gratification that you can get in the States, you don't necessarily get here. It's a different sensibility.
You don't get here.
You don't get it.
Well, I think, Pura Vida is real.
Yeah.
It is.
It is real.
Yes.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
It is a thing.
I would say for me, the biggest thing I think for me to get used to was you had to change your sense of what is convenient. What does convenience mean? I was so used to the life that we live where everything is convenient. Everything is a touch away. Everything is down the street. Everything was convenient.
Getting things.
Oh, Amazon Prime, like the next morning it was on your doorstep.
There is nothing, and I mean this is a Pura Vida spirit about it, so it's not a complaint, but there is nothing convenient about this here. Nothing. It is not. This is not their primary.
I feel like the truth is starting to come out. Are we going to go down a slippery slope of negativity?
No. I mean, that
and another thing.
I mean it with love.
No, it really. It's just humbling, and it makes you think. And we have no complaint, nor do we want it to be any different here.
Or what's important? Like what's important? Like, for instance, like clothes and the shoes and. Things are not as important anymore, right? I think I got in touch with, I can live much more simply now wherever we go.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Bangladesh.
Yes.
Yeah. The clothes thing is funny. It cracks me up. People, I know I'm going to be going to a couple weddings, and there's going to be a few dinner parties, and I'm probably going to need this coat, this sport coat.
We did that.
And it's like, you never wear that thing. And when you do want to wear that thing, let's say you did bring it, and you're like, I'm ready. You take it out, and it's moldy, and you need to be there in 15 minutes anyway.
We did that. He has a suit.
I have a suit. It's
And
never
and
been out of
shoes.
the bag since I got here. 3.5 years.
The
I was like, and he didn't want to bring the suit. I was like, well, you might need the suit. There might be a wedding to go to. There might be something semi-formal. You never know.
I always crack up. I don't know if you've ever seen any kind of international living, the magazine or the Instagram.
Yeah.
So they always show, and when they do Costa Rica International Living, there's these people, the ladies down to the nines, the guys all sporty, they got their wine glasses. There's 7 of them all just dressed to the nines. I'm like, where are they? I have never been to these places. Maybe I'm not allowed. I don't know, but that does not happen.
There's nothing here. Yeah, no, I love that part of it. No, that's funny. That's true. Your suit, you'll have to give it to somebody. Unless maybe you'll need it in Spain.
Yeah. Well, your expectations before you came down here, I mean, I'm knowing you guys, and we talked before, obviously you were doing some homework and research, kind of knew what you're getting into.
With you, we researched through
Yeah, thanks. But so what...
Thanks, Dad.
Okay.
Shucks.
No, but so I don't know. Give maybe some advice before we move on to Spain or whatever that you learned down here. I don't know. Just the takeaways. You've been here for a few years now, and it's like, was it everything you thought it was going to be? Was it better? Was it it was all right? Where were we at on all that?
I had no frame of reference for what it would be, like good or bad. I had none. So what I would say is I love it here. Like, I had no frame of reference. Now, I work with, as you know, I work with so many people that are looking to move around and digital nomads and all that. And, I've gotten pretty good at knowing relatively quickly in a conversation whether somebody can actually pull this off or not. If you're coming with an expectation of what it's going to be, or you're going to bring that lifestyle with you, I know we've said this so many times, it's not going to work for you. Part of coming here is to turn yourself over to Costa Rica and let it
work its magic.
Let it become you.
If I don't know why people do this. I don't know. They come here almost fighting and kicking Costa Rica and wonder why they're not making it here. If you're not willing to change, and you don't have to change a lot. I'm not, hey man, if you want your big house and you want the things you want cars and...
Like George Carlin and his stuff?
Yeah, I get that. But if you're not willing to kind of change something, you can live that life, I guess, behind the hibiscus fence and drink your wine and not really even do Costa Rica in a sense.
That's sort of not doing Costa Rica.
So what's the point? No, it's not. That's what I mean. It's not. So
some people insulate themselves from it. They spend a lot of money to live in a place in Costa Rica where they don't experience Costa Rica.
Yeah, there's places near us that are behind gates and they're up high and they're super expensive and they have their own private beaches and they're not part of a town. And yeah, you can absolutely do that, but then I don't know what the point is, because honestly, the weather is also tough. I mean, if you're going to come here year round, you got to kind of realize what that's about too. But if you're just going to those places because you want to be in that house for 3 months out of the year.
Oh, right. That's a whole different thing.
That's a whole nother
Now, what will you guys miss the most about living here?
The Pura Vida spirit.
The what?
The Pura Vida spirit.
I think, Spain's Spain, but it's going to be more metropolitan. We're going to live in a city. So we haven't lived in more city-ish, right? So
that's where we're going to start.
Yeah,
we don't actually know what we're going to think anymore, because we come from a more city environment. I am a city mouse, but I've been here and I love it here. So we actually don't know what we're going to think when we get over there and what's going to work for us. We don't know. It's another adventure, you guys.
I know, but you guys are kind of, I think we're similar in this way. I literally can adjust and adapt to anywhere. I could go to Bangladesh, not that they have, dirt floors and mats. I could sleep.
Should we have a conversation?
Yeah, we should probably.
Like, where does that come from, Michael?
That's the only country I can think of. I don't know. And actually, Bangladesh is actually doing better these days. But I could lay on a mat if you said, "Oh, here's your."
Could you though? Still?
No, I could. Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't do
My back is so. It actually helps, but I'm pretty good at. I'm not a complainer that way. I can. Yeah. If this is the food, I'll eat the food. I'm good.
I'm much more that way, I think, than I ever was. But I think the way that I was in the States was how I had to be. I mean, a lot of this too, you guys, for those of you out here who get this, a lot of it is getting older too, where you just get a sensibility about like who you might really be and what you really can handle and what you really like. And I think when I lived in the States and younger, I kind of just gave in as to everything that was around me and how it was supposed to be and how it was supposed to look, and my house and my car, and and I kind of gave all that up, and I kind of went, oh, I can give that up. And it wasn't a big to-do.
You know, you guys are rock stars, because I'll tell you, I hate moving. I hate moving. I mean, I know you guys are doing, there's a positive thing at the end of the rainbow.
But what do you mean by moving?
Down the road, down the next country, whatever. I'm like, because I can actually, I'm kind of like you, even though I do a lot of Costa Rica stuff, I can do it from a lot of different places now, actually.
Yeah.
I could do stuff, but I mean, I love it here. I'm not leaving, but just, I think if I had to, I don't want to go, maybe Panama is cheaper. I don't want to go to Panama.
I understand.
Yeah. You know, I don't.
You find out where you want to live and just
older
live
now.
there.
I'm older now.
Yeah.
And I don't mind going on that adventure to travel or, you know, go do those things. But just moving somewhere just causes.
Well, remember what I said earlier. We're leaving only because we have a situation to go to. If that situation wasn't happening, we wouldn't be leaving.
We wouldn't be leaving. We're gypsies at heart, though, too, Michael, right? So, like, the moving thing doesn't,
What is it, ready? What happens? We go,
yeah.
We both kind of get that,
You know, it's like...
Wait, what's that mean?
Well, it means, it's like, you know, we don't, like, picking up, we have a situation, as Jeannie said, but picking up and moving to Spain, it's not a big deal. The other thing is we travel really light. When we move, we don't take shit.
Don't take duffels and dogs.
Guys, that's a hot tip right there. That is a hot tip.
If it's not on the plane with us when we leave, it doesn't go.
And this one will be even less because we're not settling into, like, we're going to be renting. We're not buying. We're going to be renting
for long term.
We'll see. Never say never.
James again. Never.
But
never.
Yeah, we're not buying a car.
I would never. I mean, everyone's got to do them, right?
Right.
I would never buy anything again. A house. I just wouldn't. Just because.
Yeah.
Well, not because of your situation, but kind of. It's like, okay, if things change, I literally could go to Spain with you tomorrow.
You want to be agile
and be ready.
Yeah. You want to be able to just.
I don't want to go. Oh shit. This is going to be on. You know what I mean? Like,
well, we kind of learned that when this happened. We kind of went. That was part of where we went.
Right.
And
selling
I looked
our
at
house.
him. I was making the bed one morning. I said, you know what? I just want to be more agile. I want to just turn it on a switch and kind of go, let's do it.
What about?
Wait a minute. Before you go, I have to answer your question again.
Ahead.
There is one thing that's a really big deal, and I'm trusting in James and me and our history that it will work out just fine. Which is, we have built such a social network here for ourselves with friends and people we know, from acquaintances to good friends. We have such a social network where we live that we don't walk down the street without seeing people we know and hug. And that's one thing that is kind of like, ooh, man, that's like a little bit of a gut punch. But what I know is that wherever James and I go, and if anybody's watching this and you're in Spain, please reach out. We're looking to. We'll pull that off again.
Well, you guys are gregarious. You're not shy. You're meeting people.
But it helps when there's like an expat community and people are in the. You know, you come here and you meet people that are in a similar story. They're here for a reason. They came here, and you kind of have something in common.
Are most of your friends gringos? I'm assuming.
I would say most of them, but they're not all U.S., right? I mean, you know, Canadians, Europeans,
like that. But
I mean, that's not bad.
We have Tico friends too.
And we have Tico friends for sure, but it's different. I think it would be probably a little more balanced if we spoke.
If we did better with our
Spanish better.
I relate.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think that's limited us a little bit because there's just so much you can talk.
Yeah.
So there's that. So we've committed to, when we get to Spain, absolutely get on the Spanish.
If you guys could have a do-over card and just go forget. No, you don't know where this is going. You forget Costa Rica and you just went right to Spain. because of what happened. So this happened earlier. You're in wherever you lived before, California, and this happens, and you just bypass Spain. Would you be fine with that?
Spain?
Yeah, because it happened earlier, and you never got to here.
Right, we never got here. So the only thing I can say about that is a good question. Because it's one of those.
Yeah, just
no. I think it would have been different, but I think that this was this happening really set us up to be way better at
a great entrance
moving there.
Yeah, I mean, a great entry.
Like being expats, this was a great place to do it. I think for us.
Yeah, we've learned how to be.
We've learned a lot.
So we don't land with we don't have to. It's not like we're going to start over.
I know, but it feels like you're, knowing Spain. I haven't been there, but I mean, just.
Well, now you have people.
It's going to be. I kind of think what you're kind of saying. You're kind of going into any probably city in the world in a sense. Like it's going to be probably metropolitan. Do you feel like there's going to be that many differences? I think the differences will be more from Costa Rica than they will be from the States. You know what I mean?
Oh, I see what you see.
Yeah, and that's great because
there'll be more similarities from your California life.
But that's what I was trying to get across. So thank you. Is coming here set us up with a different type of. If we went from metropolitan U.S. to metropolitan Spain, I don't think we would have learned as much. I mean, because making this stop. Really got us, all the things that Costa Rica is, slow down, understand what's important, that sort of stuff. If we would have just went straight over there, I don't know that we would have gotten out of it. Does that make sense?
No, yeah.
Well,
definitely.
What I tell people, too, is that Europe is still a Western culture.
Yeah.
It's old and has a different culture, but it's Western. Costa Rica is not a Western culture.
No.
So it's a complete.
That's what I mean. This is what I'm going to say.
Right. So I think that's kind of jarred us into an expat type of living where we will be able to land more, in a certain way more easily, or we've already gotten.
You know what would be funny when you guys get there? When you guys get there, everything that happens, you go, "Pura vida, slow down. We're fine. Good Lord, what are you in such a rush for?" Everything is like you actually you take this mentality there, and people go, "You can't work with James and Jeanne. They're too slow."
Well, we're not gonna have a car. So
they're lazy.
We're not getting a car. That's right. We're going to use public transportation.
So no leaning on a horn.
I think. I don't know. I hear Spaniards are a little bit more.
They're chill.
I think they're a lot chiller than U.S. folks.
I think that's true. Yeah.
In general, even in the city, I think
isn't?
Yeah, right.
I mean, come on.
That's true. What do you think? Okay, so what do you think's gonna cross over well? Like, what do you think you've learned here, or the life here? It can be cultural, it can be economic, whatever it is going to go pretty good over there. That's gonna.
Oh, just being able to land in someplace we don't know and being friendly from the start. Like just understanding how to engage into a different culture.
We won't be freaked out.
How to not be Americans, right? How to give ourselves over to them more quickly. No grousing, no whining, no woulda, shoulda, couldas all day. You should be like none of that. This is just going to be okay. What's next? And I think that's a great. He's 64. I'm 63. I think that's a great
you're
place
old,
to
James.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think that's an amazing place to be at this point.
I'm lying about my age on the other end. I'm 78. Look at this, man.
I was like, damn, you're on the carnivore diet or something.
So that's kind of what's happening.
So I'm hoping that, okay, first before I ask you the question, hopefully at some point in the next 6 months when you guys get established over there, I would love to do a video with you about some of the things. But my question is, have you guys looked into like the cost of living differences? Are you expecting to, is your budget gonna be like shit? It's gonna be $800 more, or
It's that's a great question,
and
Michael.
He's Mr. Spreadsheet, so he's the perfect person to ask this question.
Yeah, part of the. So in Spain is going to be actually less expensive than living here. Now we live on the coast and we live in a tourist, like Tamarindo. So it's a
not
little
in Tamarindo.
Not in Tamarindo, but that area. So it's
a little higher endy. No,
flamingos.
maybe not the right word, but more.
Yeah. Spain is going to probably be about 20 to 25% less than here.
Rent, food, what?
Yeah, rent for sure. Rent is huge, like probably half of what it is on the coast in Costa Rica for us. Food is cheaper. Now,
we should part of this includes how we're going over there.
Yeah.
So that makes a difference in how the cost. So which kind of visa we're using, it makes a difference in that.
How so?
Well, I just meant as far as the health insurance and what we need to
right.
Don't need to
so just real quick. So we're going over as digital nomads. So our visa comes with residency.
Okay.
So we, 20 days after we get there, we get our residence cards. So we can use their medical system and all of that stuff. There's no waiting.
We have to do all the paperwork now and pass all the everything. And then once that's okay, and we're working with professionals to help us do that, once you get over there, the government has 20 days to give you your temporary residency, at which point
it's about 3 years. 3 years.
Step and then into their healthcare and all of that.
Well, why isn't Spain looked at more? Why is it always Portugal, Belize? Don't tell anybody.
Okay, the cat's out of the bag.
It's so when I was we looked at Portugal, right? So that whole area. We even looked like which side of Spain. Like Madrid's more expensive than Barcelona, and Barcelona is more expensive than Valencia, and so it's got that piece of it. It is very popular. Especially for people who are still working, because they have a really great freelance visa process. And that's one of the things that drew us to Spain, was the other countries. Portugal and any of the EU was more difficult and more restrictive in how you can work.
I think Spain, a lot of times, probably even Portugal, probably aren't looked as much as like a Panama, Belize, because of where it is.
Absolutely.
I mean, now it's the opposite. Your family's still in the Canada, the States, and it's like,
that's what
I would love to go to Spain, but I don't know doing this.
That's it.
There's a lot of expats in Spain that are EU people, like UK, and lots of EU people go to Spain.
But that's why. I mean, we're not going over retired as pensionado, as you would say here.
Mm-hmm.
So being digital nomads, you have to fit certain criteria, but then that allows us, like I said, to get into the residency, which lets us get into healthcare, and then back to the budget. That changes certain numbers for us, because we're not part of the CAHA here. We're not part of that.
You guys have always done independent medical insurance, right?
Right.
Actually, somebody asked on, they commented, I don't think you saw it, and I didn't look back. Somebody goes, what we must have talked about your medical insurance.
I did send it out.
Oh, okay, somebody asked, what is it?
What do you use? Yeah, I
couldn't remember.
I think 2 people, and I told them what we use. Yes.
Yeah, we have the international insurance, and when we get there, we'll have their insurance, and then we'll probably get private insurance too, but it's less than half of what we pay
for international
insurance to be here. So it's a big chunk. So the budget, that's a big chunk right there.
Well, wait, now I got this question. So the opposite's also true. You don't have anybody in the States you think you won't be flying back for?
Well, his sister who's here, Max, who's in there.
Oh, well, that's why you're with her now, so you don't have to see her for another 10 years.
But really, honestly, we both have some sisters that are in the States still, and that's
about it. We just hope they'll come visit us.
They'll come visit us if she can hear
I'm sure they will. I mean, who doesn't want to go to Spain, right?
Easy peasy.
Yeah. And then they got a place to stay, so
that's
it's all
what
good.
We're telling everybody.
I'm starting to make plans. I'm just waiting for you guys to get a place. That's
right. Bring your bedroll,
You're on the floor, Mike. You said you're going to adapt to that.
But here's something. I'm just going to give ideas. Tell people just a couple of fun things to know about this. One of the fun things is that James does gig work. And one of the things that's showing up for him in his current gig work is they're looking for more people to be in the EU, in Europe, doing what he does for them. A gig. It's not a job. It's a gig. And that opened up it just so happens that the woman we have that's been here for years is going to no longer be with the company. Oh, James, you're going there? Would you take on some clients for us?
I think she's in Finland.
things like this start to happen when you are digital, when you do freelance, when you make offers. Like, we didn't see that coming, so that's something. And then for what I do, I open up the whole world about digital nomad, and it's not about being in Costa Rica, it's about going wherever you want to go.
The digital nomad thing here is freaking ridiculous. As soon as I saw that, I was telling her, never do that. It was so dumb. Why would you do it? You had to do all these things where you could just go 180 days. You would
and leave. Yeah, come back.
Stupid.
Yeah.
The thing about Spain, which I think is one of the, because tell me some of the, okay, you have your family over there, but I think it's cool that you're going to be over in Europe and close by, get on that Euro pass.
Here's the deal.
Start traveling around.
I mean, literally. So I was looking at, when I'm just farting around, I'll go, okay, well, if we want to go see this or that. And
farts around.
You're in Valencia. Let's say you can fly to Rome in a little over 2 hours for $100 round trip.
Yeah.
And when you think of Europe, it's all those countries, and it's pretty damn small, right?
It's the reason they speak 20 languages.
So you can get anywhere for train, fly, and it's cheap.
I can go see live shows and musicals in London easily.
Which is what I'm asking. Would it besides the family? What are you looking forward to?
Culture,
like seeing stuff.
I love that stuff.
Not a whole lot of culture here.
Different kind of culture.
Not
the culture we're used to.
Look, we've gone to see less than probably 5 movies since we've been here in 3.5 years.
Oh, yeah.
And we have to spend 2 days in San Jose. We have to make it a weekend to go to San Jose to go see a movie.
Don't you guys remember Ike Godsey, right, from the Waltons? And they would have to go to Ike Godsey's store. They'd have to go into
once
town.
a month.
That's what we do. We go to Ike Godsey's. We go to Walmart.
God, we're getting old.
Oh, my God.
Oh, here's the other fun thing we're doing. We're taking our dogs with us. So we've had to work that out.
This is Duffels and Dogs 2.0.
Yep. Taking them, had to get the test they need, and and then they're going to have a little pet EU passport, so they get to go through all the checkpoints and through all the borders.
They have doggy EU passports.
Who's helping you do all this? You have obviously got somebody like.
Well, here's the thing.
And how'd you find them? Actually?
Well, here's the thing. We worked with Sarah Lena to come here, and she is the best ever. I just can't say enough. But she doesn't do Spain. So what we learned from that relationship with her, and we've talked to her, so she knows all about this, is how important it is, everybody, if you're looking at coming here, having a relocation specialist and listening to people who know and going to relocation retreats makes a huge difference. The connections, people already vetted. Yep. You don't find out on your own what doesn't work. People already know. So what we learned was we need some. So when I work with International Living and I go to their conferences, there's a relocation specialist that goes to those, and they happen to mention to me that they're just opening up their Spain office. So I said, hey, maybe we could be a beta test for you if you haven't done it yet. So we're in an agreement with them where they're going to help us through that.
We're the beta testers, and the other one is the immigration piece of it, and we found that through. A couple who does YouTube
for Spain.
And they're from
everything's out there now.
Oh my God! So
there's no reason
we've been there's several people in YouTube that we follow to learn about Spain, right? That you find the ones you trust and that are speaking to the kinds of concerns that you will have. And
where's the best surf spot?
They recommend several of them recommended this bureaucracy.es.
Shout out.
Sorry. And they help you with all of the visa process and the bureaucracy and all that crap.
Now, do you guys, what happens if you have culture? Again, we kind of talked about it. What if you have culture shock the other way? What if it's too metropolitan? There's other places. What if it's too fast paced?
Go to other places.
Is
there any chance of that? Or are you guys are you ready to get back a little bit on the wheel?
That whole area, though, has the city.
Yeah, so Valencia is a city, but it's also a region. The Valencia region, and there are smaller towns dotted all around there. So if we ever got to the point where, which is why we're not going to buy right away, is we miss that rural feel or whatever.
Or it's too noisy, or it's too noisy, or whatever.
So we might.
Get out of my damn apple tree.
It is possible.
Yeah.
It is possible.
I mean, I would have it only because I've been here 19 years. I could never really. I'd have to go in some little tiny home in the woods or something.
What were you like before you came here, though? Where did you live?
Vegas.
Oh, so you're like, oh, well, geez,
and that tells you everything you need to know.
Interviewing you.
You don't even need to ask anything else.
I forgot.
I loved Vegas. Vegas was very good to me.
My sister lives there. I like it there.
You know, before the internet was a big thing, everybody thought you lived on the Strip.
Yeah, I did that. Is that right?
Everyone goes, oh, you live. No. Matter of fact, we never go down there. Matter of fact, anybody that comes in, we say, take my car. You can go watch that little volcano erupt somewhere else.
My sister's there. She's like 30 minutes out, and she never goes to the
the same as us. And if you do want to go to people don't probably even know this. Well, they do now. When you are out, they have casinos, huge, big casinos for the locals that, don't go down to the Strip.
Yeah.
So,
I love it.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of options in Spain, so we'll see.
We don't know, but we'll keep you posted. And if you're interested, I'll just put it out there. If you're interested, we'd be happy to just chat with you as we go through the whole process.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely. We got to do a Zoom video. We got to catch up and see how this.
Well, here's the thing this is the thing I'll tell everybody that I'm nervous about is we can't screw this up. What I mean is we have our dogs, so we can't get to Spain in the airport and have the paperwork or anything off where we can't get our dogs because we're in Spain. So I wake up at night with like
sweats, cold sweats.
What do you do?
Guaranteed.
Something happens.
James is sleeping like a baby, guaranteed.
Oh my God.
I'll say, honey, we got 90 days. Chill.
We'll figure it out. But that's my thing. You get all the paperwork here. You take it there. A vet meets you at the airport. Make sure all of your paperwork is good. Your dog can't leave the airport unless all the paperwork is in order. Then you go out and you have 4 months before you actually have to go to a vet and get your EU passport, which we'll get right away for them. But you actually have to get out of the airport. There's no quarantine or anything.
That's a little stressy.
Hello? What am I going to do? I'm sorry, ma'am. You didn't check this box here. We're going to come.
See, I'm more like you on this than James. James probably isn't really worried. I do kind of, it's anxiety a little bit. It's like, what if he doesn't show up? What if he gets sick? And will they send somebody else? Maybe sitting here.
What if our paperwork is not right? They let the dogs in and not us.
Well, that's why you work with somebody who's it's in their best interest to make sure that our paperwork is dead on.
The dogs can stay. You have to go.
Well, it's interesting. I think Costa Rica and Spain really aren't going to be that similar, personally.
No, I don't think so.
I think probably Spain's more, again, just metropolitan in general. The people are more probably metropolitan.
They have great paella.
So I'm not even sure if there's I'm not really sure there's really a correlation of,
Except Spanish, and even it's different Spanish.
Yeah, right.
And even the Spanish is different.
Yeah, try saying Porta Vida. I want to see how that works.
It's over there, see what they do.
I'm curious to see what happens.
They're going to give you.
We'll take it.
They're just going to be staring at you like, what? Didn't we conquer those people back in the day? Okay, they kind of did.
We're back to Bangladesh.
Yes, Bangladesh, my favorite country. I'm going to go there. All right, well, I could talk for another freaking 3 hours on this stuff. There's so many questions. But anyway, maybe we'll do another video before you guys leave. So, you got things to do here still?
Yeah.
We got
probably 3 or 4 months.
He keeps saying 3 or 4, and I keep saying 4, maybe 5. He goes 3 or 4. I go, maybe 4 or 5.
But now that we have the house sold.
Yeah, the house is sold.
That was the biggie. Now that release, that was sort of the...
Well, that's the thing. Right?
Yeah, now we can get busy, right? But
it's sold.
Well, guys, Costa Rica was better for you guys being here. We got to meet.
We are better for having been here.
Thank you, James.
Thank you,
Jeannie.
Michael.
We're not. This isn't over. This is
No.
not over.
No.
Good Lord.
No.
I'm going to put you on my route when I go to Bangladesh, then Spain. Guys, I'm Michael Allen for TravelCostaRicaNow.com. Hey, my videos are going to pop up here and here. If you're thinking about living or traveling anywhere, especially Costa Rica, always do your homework and research. And if it's Costa Rica, my videos on all day. All day.
24/7.
All right, ciao, guys.
Ciao.